The past isn't gone. It lingers in our habits and fears. Superstitions like avoiding ladders or fearing black cats aren't just quirks, they're echoes of ancient beliefs. These rituals were born from humanity's need to explain and control a chaotic world. Even today, we skip the 13th floor in buildings, a modern nod to old fears, knocking on wood, tossing salt. These are instinctive acts, their origins long forgotten. They're cultural reflexes, passed down through generations. Our rational world is still haunted by the anxieties of our ancestors. These small rituals are the ghosts of old beliefs still shaping our lives. They remind us where we came from and how little we've changed. The past is always with us, woven into the fabric of our daily lives. Why do superstitions persist in an age of science? They offer comfort, a sense of control when life feels uncertain. Lucky socks, special pens, talismans, modern people still reach for ancient tools. These rituals calm our fears and connect us to our cultural roots. Participating in them links us to generations past, reinforcing identity and belonging. From ancestor worship to holiday traditions, these acts bind communities together. Our journey will uncover the stories behind these beliefs and their evolution. Superstitions reveal our timeless quest for meaning and control. They are the invisible threads tying us to our mysterious past. In medieval Europe, fear of witches gripped society. Witches were blamed for every misfortune, disease, crop failure, even spoiled milk. This terror was fueled by ignorance, religious fervor, and social anxiety. Manuals like the Malleus Maleficarum legitimized witch hunts and hysteria. Accusations targeted the vulnerable, often women on society's margins. Witchcraft charges settled grudges and tore communities apart. Torture and sham trials led to thousands of executions. The witch became a scapegoat for chaos and fear of the unknown. This dark chapter left a lasting scar on Western culture. The legacy of the witch hunt is a cautionary tale about fear and power. The myth of the witch's sabbat fueled witch hunt hysteria. Tales of midnight gatherings, flying broomsticks, and pacts with the devil spread terror. These stories were inventions, no evidence supports their reality. Tortured confessions and wild imaginations shaped the narrative. The sabbat myth turned witches into members of a vast, evil conspiracy. This justified brutal persecution in the name of holy war. Ironically, symbols like the cauldron and broomstick were later reimagined as tools of empowerment. The rituals once feared became sources of fascination and identity. The mythology of the witch endures, transformed by time and perspective. What was once a symbol of evil is now reclaimed as a source of strength. As witch trials faded, the witch became folklore. Until the 20th century, modern witchcraft like Wicca redefined the witch as a symbol of empowerment and nature-based spirituality. Rituals now focus on healing, growth, and harmony, not harm. Candle magic, herbal bundles, and cleansing ceremonies are acts of self-care and intention. The meaning of these rituals has shifted from fear to personal transformation. For many, embracing witch is an act of reclaiming power and identity. Modern witches celebrate independence, intuition, and connection to nature. The witch is no longer a figure of terror, but a beacon of strength. Ancient symbols have been transformed into tools for healing and self-discovery. The journey from fear to empowerment shows how beliefs can evolve and inspire. Black cats have long been seen as both gods and demons, their fate tied to human superstition. In medieval Europe, they became symbols of witchcraft and evil, hunted alongside accused witches. Ironically, their persecution may have helped spread the Black Death, as rats thrived without their feline predators. The simple act of a black cat crossing your path became a powerful omen, once seen as a sign of evil, misfortune, or even death. Rituals and superstitions grew, with people turning back or making signs to ward off bad luck. Even today, this superstition lingers, shaping how we see black cats and their fate. The black cat's meaning shifts across cultures, feared in some, revered in others. In ancient Egypt, black cats brought blessings. In Japan and the UK, they're lucky omens. The black cat is a canvas for our hopes and fears, shaped by the stories we tell. Some fears are born from a single, terrifying source. Others, like Friday the 13th, are created when two ancient superstitions, fear of the number 13 and the misfortune of Friday, merge into one powerful day of dread. This unlucky union still casts a long shadow over our world. The fear of Friday the 13th is often linked to the dramatic downfall of the Knights Templar, arrested at dawn on Friday, October 13, 1307. Their sudden arrest, torture, and the Grand Master's curse on king and pope created a legend that still haunts us. Whether fact or myth, this tale forever ties Friday the 13th to betrayal and dark fate. Whether its origins lie with Loki, Judas, or the Knights Templar, the fear of Friday the 13th is undeniably real in the modern world. This specific phobia, known as paraskavidicotriophobia, has a measurable impact on people's behavior and even on the economy. Studies have shown that some people actively change their routines on this day. They may avoid travel, postpone business deals, or refuse to make major purchases. One study conducted in the United Kingdom suggested that there are fewer traffic accidents on Friday the 13th, not because the day is magically safer, but because more people choose to stay off the roads altogether, paralyzed by a sense of foreboding. This ancient anxiety is visibly embedded in the architecture of our modern society. It's a quiet but persistent monument to the power of superstition. Many hotels, office buildings, and apartment complexes around the world intentionally skip the 13th floor. Their elevators will list floors progressing from 12 directly to 14, as if this simple act of renumbering can trick fate and leapfrog over any potential bad luck. Similarly, some airlines have been known to omit the 13th row of seats on their aircraft. These are not decisions made by superstitious individuals, but calculated business choices made in deference to the widespread anxiety of their customers. It's just easier to remove the number than to deal with the fear it inspires. The curse has also been cemented in popular culture, most famously by the Friday the 13th horror film franchise that began in 1980. The series, featuring the iconic, hockey mask-wearing villain, Jason Voorhees, transformed the day from a vague source of bad luck into a date synonymous with brutal, slasher horror. For generations of moviegoers, the phrase Friday the 13th no longer just evokes old myths of betrayal or unlucky numbers. It brings to mind the terrifying image of a relentless, unstoppable killer. This cultural reinforcement has given the old superstition a new and terrifyingly vivid lease on life, ensuring its place in the modern landscape of fear. Ultimately, the persistence of this curse reveals how deeply ingrained these old patterns of thought are. In a world driven by data, science, and logic, we still make concessions to a fear born of ancient mythology and medieval history. The fear of Friday the 13th is a perfect example of a non-rational belief thriving in a rational age. It demonstrates that our modern minds are still haunted by the ghosts of our ancestors' anxieties. The day itself is really no different from any other, but the power of belief, amplified by centuries of stories and cultural reinforcement, is enough to transform it into a day when the world collectively holds its breath, just in case. Death is humanity's greatest fear, but in Mexico, Dia de los Muertos transforms mourning into celebration. Families gather, building colorful ofrendas, sharing food, music, and memories to welcome spirits home. Sugar skulls and marigolds turn symbols of death into joy, teaching that love and remembrance conquer fear. Across Asia, ancestor worship connects the living and the dead, with families honoring their ancestors through rituals and offerings. Burning joss paper and symbolic items sends gifts to ancestors, ensuring their comfort in the afterlife. These acts maintain a bond, turning loss into a comforting presence that guides families across generations. Though they arise from vastly different cultures, the death rituals of Mexico and Asia speak to the same universal human need. They are a powerful and creative refusal to accept that death is the absolute end of our most important relationships. When faced with the profound pain of losing a loved one, the human heart searches for a way to keep that connection alive. These rituals provide exactly that. They offer a tangible, structured, and communal way to continue the relationship with the deceased. By preparing food, lighting candles, burning paper money, or simply speaking a name, people are actively performing their love and remembrance, keeping the bond intact. These practices reveal a different understanding of existence. Instead of a linear path that ends abruptly in nothingness, they present a cyclical or continuous view of life. The dead are not gone. They have simply transitioned to a different state of being, a different place from which they can still interact with our world. This belief fundamentally changes one's relationship with mortality. Death becomes less of a terrifying abyss and more of a predictable journey, a passage that everyone eventually makes. This perspective provides immense psychological comfort, not only for coping with the loss of others, but also for confronting one's own mortality. It promises that we too will be remembered and cared for. In the modern, secular world, where many traditional religious frameworks have lost their hold, these ancient death rituals continue to thrive. They persist not because people literally believe a spirit is eating the essence of a taco, but because the rituals themselves are profoundly meaningful. They provide a language for grief when words fail. They create a dedicated time and space for remembrance in our busy lives. They gather families and communities together, reinforcing social bonds through a shared sacred act. They fulfill a deep psychological need to feel that our loved ones, and the love we have for them, have not simply vanished into thin air. Ultimately, these death rituals that refuse to die are a testament to the power of love and memory. They are a declaration that human connections are strong enough to transcend the physical boundary of death. Whether through a joyous party in a cemetery, or a quiet offering of incense at a family altar, the message is the same. We are defined by our relationships, and those relationships do not end when a heart stops beating. These ancient practices show us that one of the most powerful ways humanity has coped with the fear of death is by stubbornly, beautifully, and creatively refusing to say a final goodbye. Even in our modern world, the ancient impulse to seek protection from unseen forces remains. We perform small rituals, knocking on wood, crossing fingers, seeking comfort and control in uncertain times. These acts may not change fate, but they soothe our minds, helping us face the unknown with confidence. From knocking on wood to carrying lucky charms or wearing special colors, our rituals connect us to ancient beliefs. These small acts, like touching wood or clutching a charm, offer comfort and hope, even if we don't know their origins. They're quiet echoes of the past, still guiding us today. From witch trials to ancestral shrines, humanity has always sought order and chaos. Whether in mud huts or skyscrapers, our fears and rituals endure. Superstitions persist, not from ignorance, but because science can't soothe our deepest anxieties. These ancient echoes live on, bridging past and present, as we search for meaning and comfort. Ultimately, do these rituals and superstitions actually work? Can a lucky charm truly alter the outcome of an event? Can knocking on wood really ward off disaster? From a purely scientific standpoint, the answer is, of course, no. The universe does not bend to our small ceremonies. A cat is just a cat. A number is just a number. And yet, to dismiss these beliefs as mere foolishness is to miss their true power. These rituals may not control the external world of fate and chance, but they exert a profound and measurable control over something far more immediate and just as powerful: our internal world. They control our fear. The power of a ritual lies not in its ability to change reality, but in its ability to change our perception of reality. By performing a familiar act of superstition, we transform our emotional state from one of passive anxiety to one of active participation. We are no longer just helpless victims of circumstance. We are agents taking a step, however small, to protect ourselves. This psychological shift is incredibly potent. It reduces stress, builds confidence, and allows us to face uncertainty with a calmer mind. In this sense, the magic is real. The spell is cast not upon the world, but upon ourselves, and it works by giving us the courage to move forward. The journey through these dark beliefs has shown us that fear is one of history's most powerful engines. Fear built the pyres for the witch trials. Fear turned a harmless animal into a demonic omen. Fear can empty the streets and ground airplanes on a specific day of the month. But these same stories also show our incredible resilience in the face of fear. We've taken the most terrifying symbols, the witch, the skeleton, the shadow of death, and in many cases we've transformed them. We've turned them into sources of empowerment, celebration, and connection, proving that our creativity is just as powerful as our anxiety. In the end, these rituals are a mirror. They reflect our deepest anxieties, our most cherished hopes, and our unending quest for meaning in a world that often offers none. They tell the story of humanity's long and complicated relationship with the unknown. Perhaps one day we will evolve beyond the need for these superstitions. Perhaps a future of perfect knowledge and absolute security awaits us. But until that day comes, we will continue to knock on wood, carry our charms, and whisper our hopes to the universe. Because while these rituals may not control our fate, They help us control our fear. And in the face of life's great uncertainties, that may be the only magic we truly need.